Hey guys, welcome back to the show. This is Here's Rodder's Reviews, and we're doing some more of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This episode is called Wizard of Stone Mountain. Now, it's for me, making this content, especially on YouTube, at times, the whole made for kids content thing, it's not that it's frustrating, I understand why it's there. And the protection of children comes first. Absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. But when it comes to these old 80s cartoons and stuff, even though it's made for kids content, some of the old stuff, back whenever I was a kid growing up, I was the prime audience for shows like He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Those shows dealt with a lot of very dark themes, even though it was considered kids content back then. In this one here is probably one of the darkest episodes yet in the run of the original He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Basically, in this episode, the Wizard of Stone Mountain, Malik, has kind of barricaded himself into his castle. Lusting after his lost love, essentially, who's Teela in this episode. And this little creature turns up as like a gargoyle sort of a thing called Lakos. And he makes a deal with Malik in exchange for bringing Teela to him. Promises him, I can bring the love of your life to you if you make a deal with me to do what I want you to do, basically. And they shake hands on it, and there's a magical glow between the two hands, which basically stops Malik from being able to use his magical abilities in the episode. And this little creature, this gargoyle, goes on a rampage of destruction, and he says it's all part of the plan to bring Teela to him. So of course word gets to Teela what's going on, and she comes with the help of He-Man, Ram Man, Battle Cat to try and stop whatever's happening. She feels responsible for what's going on because she knows how Malik feels for her, but she turned him down. Originally she just didn't think of him as any more than a friend, and he fell madly in love with her. She rejected him. That's what started the whole thing. He locked himself away in this castle, and then this gargoyle comes. So, I'm not going to get into major detail on this episode, but genuinely, it's one that I would highly recommend you checking it out. Basically, there's a good few action sequences in here with He-Man and the rest of the heroes trying to get to the castle to get to Malik, and Teela is taken in the middle of this and taken to the castle with Malik, and he finally has her, and he's happy and contented. But throughout the episode, and if you're quick off the mark, you're going to realise within the first few minutes of the episode who the actual hero is going to be in this. There's an assistant, a young woman who's an assistant to Malik, and she has been trying to, get rid of this creature, and she gets pulled into the middle of the whole thing, and He-Man has to save her as well. But by the end of the episode, we discover that when the creature made the offer to Malik, he was that excited about the possibility of getting Teela that he didn't stop to consider the consequences of the deal and what he would have to pay in return for this to happen. And we discover the handshake was basically him selling his soul to this gargoyle creature whose master is essentially evil itself. This creature turns up at the end, and it's made of flames, but it doesn't say it in so many words, but it's heavily implied that this is in fact Satan himself basically turns up at the end of this episode, and He-Man has to face off against him, the ultimate power of darkness. So a creature far, far stronger than Skeletor, who Skeletor and the regular villains don't even show up in this episode. So they face off, He-Man against this fire demon creature, Satan, if you will. And the creature realises that he cannot defeat He-Man, because He-Man, you know, in the series is the personification of good and the power of good. So the both of them are evenly matched, and the creature says, you know, we could fight for 1,000 years and we would never beat each other. And He-Man's like, well, I'm ready when you are, sort of a thing. Pure hero stuff. But the creature does say, you know, that doesn't even matter. Basically, the deal was Malik sold his soul to get Teela to the castle. That happened. I'm claiming him as my own, and that's when the real hero of the episode steps in, and it's the young assistant of Malik, and she steps in and offers her own soul in exchange for the soul of Malik. And the demon creature, devil, Satan, whatever you want to call it, is completely taken aback at this. It's like, this is completely unprecedented. Like, no one has ever willingly gave up their own soul before. So he is like, yeah, excited for this. So he releases Malik's soul from the agreement in exchange for the young girls. And whenever he tries to grab hold of her to take her, he can't actually physically grab hold of her, because essentially the offer that she made and offering her soul to him in exchange for someone else's was the biggest act of love, that there was no power of darkness that could stand up to it. So she, in doing that, you know, broke complete control, and, you know, really showed Malik that, you know, after all this time in the tower pining after Teela, there was a woman here then the whole time that really did genuinely love him. And that's where we kind of close out the episode. There's a funny little bit at the end where they're trying to console Teela slightly, you know, jokingly, that, you know, hope you're going to get over the loss of your love, sort of a thing. And Teela's like, you know, it's someone I've been working with for a long time now, I'm starting to get very, very fond of. And she's like, come on, Ram Man. And He-Man and Balcat's like, Ram Man? Because Ram Man's like the short little fat guy. He's like a comic relief in the series. One of the comic relief characters in the series. Ram Man is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love that character in the show. But he leaves arm in arm with Teela at the end, and he's just like, well, guys, if you've got it, you've got it. And we close out there. The PSA at the end of this episode was pretty much just a simple one. You know, Malik thought that he could do whatever the heck he wanted, but he was lucky to have friends around him that were going to be there to protect him and back him up, sort of a thing. And very, very simple one is pretty much don't be an idiot, don't be a prick thinking you can do whatever the heck you want, sort of thing. Just because you have the power to do it doesn't mean you should actually do it. So that's it for that episode. I absolutely loved this episode, so good. And you know, probably this review here, I didn't get into huge detail on it, but so far in the series, I think this is probably one of my more favourite episodes. Is that even a proper England way of saying things? More England way of, you know. I don't know, tripping over my words. I'm tired, I need some sleep. But I would highly recommend He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. If you've never seen it yet, you have time to actually binge this box set from beginning to end before Masters of the Universe Revelation comes out. We're not that far away from it now. I do believe it is a July release, 2021, and I'm stupidly excited for it. So it is a follow-up to the original series of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and you should binge this at some point. And even like, I don't have children, but if I did have kids of my own, I would literally not force them to sit down and watch He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, but I would make real damn sure that at some point while they're growing up, this box set would become a staple of their entertainment, because the lessons that kids will learn through a show like this here is, to the best of my knowledge, it's not in modern kids entertainment. The morals from this box set are absolutely fantastic.